Okay. Okay, sorry. Hold your horses. We'll be back soon. Okay. Much for your patience. We had some glitches over there. So as I have said a while ago, this webinar is entitled "The Journey to Independent Learning." This is a platform for our students to express their open distance learning experience, otherwise known as ODL. So we are undergoing this new norm. With COVID-19, it has prompted a shift towards online learning, raising questions about how we value education and how we are to cope with this current situation. Today, we have 4 resilient students joining us for the forum to share their ODL experience and the process where they became independent learners. So we have Nur Alia Munira binti Yunus from the Faculty of Applied Sciences under the program Microbiology. She did her ODL here at UiTM Pilah during her diploma, AS114, but now she is pursuing her degree at Sha'alam. Next, we have Muhammad Rushdi bin Ahmed, also from the Faculty of Applied Sciences under the program Microbiology. We have a student from the Academy of Contemporary Islamic Studies, Muhammad Iqmal bin Azlan. I see you want to. And last but not the least, we have Nur Atika binti Muhammad Rizal, a degree student from the Faculty of Applied Sciences, taking up food technology. Okay, so moving on, let us start with a question to our 4 panelists. The question is, what is ODL for you when you first heard of it during week 4 of the previous semester? So this is open to anyone who could answer the question.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'll take the question first. Okay. Before I answer the question, I would like to say that COVID-19 or this pandemic is a new norm for us, and it's a new transition. And we all know that transition is never be easy, as well as for me. So when I heard about ODL, what is ODL to me when I first heard of it in week 4 during the MCO is actually, to be honest, is I was very afraid and scared that I might not doing well. And last semester I have to take statistic code, which is STA 408. And as a science student, I would like to say that I quite bad in numbers and calculation. And as well as I don't have any foundation on statistics during my diploma years, like my friends in food technology and textile. So I need more time to understand the lectures. But Alhamdulillah, my lecturers and my friends are very helpful to help. They were super helpful. But whatever it is, it takes 2 to tango. If even you got a lecturer who can help you throughout the course and your friends were very supportive, but if you don't want to make it happen, then it wouldn't happen. So what I did to overcome my fear on statistics, I make the textbook, statistic textbook as my best friend, but only after my result came out, because now we are not best friend anymore, because I don't think that I can survive statistics for another semester. So other than that, I tell myself that I don't have to be shy, because it's always the first time for everyone. Because if you're not going through that, you never know what is your potential. So I always bear in mind that I'll get through this and I'm gonna make this happen. And Alhamdulillah, it turned out to be okay, and my result on statistic is quite good, I could say. So that's how I feel, and that's That's what ODL when I first heard it gonna be implemented during the MCO. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alia. How about you, Ikmal?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Amalia, for the comment. And I would like to thank Akademi Pengajian Bahasa for organize this very inspiring event. So for me, I'm final year student in halal management, and of course, as a final year student, you want to spend a lot of time with your friends, gain memories, and sketch the last moment in your university life. But then everything was changed since the virus came to Malaysia on March 2020, and it affected the whole world, including the new norm of learning style, which is online distance learning body out. But then luckily I feel I be more independent than ever because ODL means student really need to be independent since the timetable is a lot more flexible and fun for myself. Back then, you need to wake up an hour early to get ready with your clothes, tote bag, sneakers, and go to the class. But now you can simply walk out 5 minutes before the class started and just wash your face and brush your teeth. So this is the transition, what Arya said just now. But please bear in your mind, always be ready for any changes and surprise. No more depending on friends remind you to study to finish the assignment before deadline. And yes, during the ODL, we utilize the technology in the maximum level. And after all, those are our own responsibility to ourselves as students. And a part of that, I also developed my soft skill. Yes, aside from learning back then to the previous norm, being able to interact and involve in activities physically in the campus is what I always to look for. Join the student council, join martial arts, sport, and so on, all the extracurricular activity. But however, now is the but that not the time now because now is the time to discover the technology because me myself I have across a lot of technologies and some of the technology I haven't heard before, something like StreamYard, something like Pluscraft, and so on that could help me in ODN. And of course it is beneficial for me because who knows what will happen to the future, right? Because maybe you will utilize this some sort of online meeting while you are working or in the company. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ikmal. I love your smile, Ikmal. Okay, so how about you, Atika? How was your ODL? What is ODL for you during that time?
Thank you, Dr. Amalia, for the question. So ODL to me, when I first heard it in week 4 of the MCO, uh, to me ODL is almost like the week without wall when UiTM give us, where we will do things outside of class and interact online with our lecturers and friends. But it is somehow different, a little bit different, where we as science students cannot go to labs and perform our practicals. But however, when you want something, you will work for it. When there's a will, there's a way. So for you to excel your labs even without doing hands-on, you can watch more videos and read more articles and just find very very many sources in the internet, because each experiment, each instruments have their own ways of operating them. So we can watch videos online. We have very many sources of that. Even our lecturers give us the sources to watch the videos. So if you study the videos closely, who knows, you might be able to understand it easily. And when you encounter the machines and the instruments later on, maybe in fact you can actually, oh, I've watched this and I know how to handle this better. So if you are willing, if you open your heart for it, you can do it. So to me, even ODL is not a barrier for you to stress out or quit, or just have a mental breakdown. Can still go through it. That's for me.
Okay, thank you, Atika. Yes, we're hoping that our students won't suffer mental breakdown. Okay, now let's go on with Rushdi.
Thank you, Dr. Amalia, for that particular question. So, hi everyone. So, when I heard about ODL, what is ODL to me? For the first time I heard about ODL, I think about the biggest advantage of online learning that I felt is I can study from anywhere, from my bed, my own work area, my table. As long as I have an internet connection and quiet room, I can learn from my laptop. Online learning requires us to daily interaction with technology, from laptops to live stream lectures. However, on the other side, all the flexibility and independence means I need to be self-motivated to get good result. Study online means you will have a lot of social interaction with other students and lecturers. So it's greater possibility for the students to feel isolated. So how I manage to survive during hard time in ODL when I have nobody to watch behind me, except my own smartphone and my laptop as my new buddies. So it's very essential to have a learning strategy to score during ODL. When there is a new learning method, it means we also need to change our previous learning habit. First of all, I will make a list of daily tasks as well as replanning my time management. Our daily sessions are not provided with final exams, so many assignments are need to be recovered and performed for score in each subject. When there are many tasks available, we need to implement proper planning to avoid from easily stressed, fibrous with a lot of assignments. Proper planning also can help students to set daily and weekly targets that need to be complete before the deadline submission. In addition, for each subject, I will use several different approach depending on the content of the subject. For example, for subject with calculations such as chemistry, one of my favorite subjects, I will do a lot of past year questions as my review exercise. When many questions have already been answered, I will review the calculation answer to improve my understanding. When it's almost a exam week, I will answer the question once I made and try to memorize all the available forms of calculation. That means I will try to memorize what is the first step to tackle this question, how many steps that needs to be complete to this particular answer. As you all know, most question form in test or exam are simply use the same calculation form of answer. So, however, for theoretical and factual subjects such as for this semester, we have virology and molecular biology for students in diploma microbiology. Other than rewatching the video given by the lecturer, I will watch another video from other sources, especially from YouTube, that use a lot of graphic and language that is easy to understand. Other than that, every night I go to the bed between 9 until 11 p.m. And after that, I will get up to review lessons and copy all my assignments until 4 a.m. I will also make a to-do list and set target every day to understand the topic content of the subject that needs to be focused on. For example, if next week I will have a test to mycology, one of the killer subject I think, that including chapter 4, 5 and 7. So that this week I will plan my timetable. Maybe for this night I want to study on chapter 4 and 5 only because this topic is simple and easy to memorize. But tomorrow and after that I want to focus on chapter 7 only because this topic is quite heavy and complex to understand. So that it took me a long time to really understand that. I think we'll agree that sometimes the topic taught by the lecturer are not necessarily able to provide us a good understanding, especially of course science subject and for those who are involved in calculations. So therefore,
Okay.
the best method is to always study what you have learned every day. So that I felt about ODL.
That is great. That is great. Thank you very much to the four of you. So, indeed, online learning can be the lifeline for students. However, the students must realize the virtue of a computer or any technological device in ODL, and it requires a user and not a watch. Okay, that being said, I would like to ask this question specifically to Alia. Alia, how did you prepare yourself before your ODL class started?
Okay, thank you, moderator Dr. Amalia, for the question. So how do I prepare myself before my OD classes start? Is first and foremost, I prepare my mental, because I believe that strong mental gonna produce strong physical and strong heart. So I prepare my mental first by treating the online classes like a face-to-face classes. I was telling myself that I need to be disciplined to sit down throughout the class and not going around, like how I do it in face-to-face class, and encouraging myself that I will get through this someday and I'm gonna make it. So that's first step, the initial step, me to prepare myself well. Then the second preparation was I make myself understand that online learning practices and expectation would be different from the previous classes, which is we have a direct interaction with the lecturers and friends. I would say that online learning is not an easiest way to learn, but rather a more convenient one, because it's quite flexible and it helps us to attend the class wherever we at. So that's a bright side of ODL. But for me, it's time to start from my comfort zone, because if before this I run 90 km per hour, but now I have to run 110 km per hour to catch up things, because I might have difficulties in certain subjects, so I have to be an independent learner. And as well as I need to know the expectations that not all your friends have the internet connectivity, strong internet connectivity. So so I have to work with others effectively and be more responsible, because it's the time for me and for everyone, for all the students, to be more responsible on yourself, as well as to your classmate or to the group mates. So instill the common sense in yourself, in myself, as a student and as a person as well. Next, I create a cozy and convenient study space, because it helps me to make sure that I stay organized and always on track on my studies, because when I have an convenient study space, I do not lose any of my notes or any of my lecture notes and my laptop. So another preparation I would like to say is that I figure out how I learn the best. We all know that every one of us is different from one person to another person. So this is the moment where you have to figure out yourself. You have to be independent, find for more reference by your own, and always take a study break, which is no matter how hard the ODL take place, always remember to take study break, because we don't want to feel a very heavy pressure. So for me, it's okay to take some time to break, but remember to always keep on track. And I would like to suggest one app for the students to make it easier, to make your work easier, which is I use Mendeley Cite app to cite my reference. So it saves my time to do my research, to do my lab reports. So the last one is I have an effective calendar system for myself. It depends on people. If you want to have a timetable, or you want to do list, or whatever it is, you know yourself, and as long as you're willingly to follow it, then it's okay. As for me, I create to-do list, because I know that I can follow my study plan. And by having effective calendar, it will help you to prioritize which one you need to focus on and which one you need to submit first. And one last thing that I want to share is it's time to find for it's time for you to find the reference by your own. And we know that we can go to the library and Later, I will share the link from Telegram for that. This is especially for science student, which I have the Telegram link for what we call it, soft copy textbook. So I'll drop the link later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Arya. So that is a very good advice from you. This is just something to ponder upon. So you can't teach people everything they need to know. The best you can do is position them where they can find what they need to know when they need to know it. So the next question would be directed to Rushdi. Okay, this is three interrelated questions. How did you manage group assignments? If you have any doubts in completing your assignment, what did you do? And did you contact your lecturer? So if yes, using what media? Okay, so Rushdie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Malia, again for that particular question. So the question is, did I contact my lecturer during ODL session? So yes, practically every day with my group mates, we will refer to the lecturer to discuss further about the idea of our assignment. Usually we will send a different representative from us for each assignment given to contact the lecturer via WhatsApp. For example, if we have a junior critic assignment for lab molecular biology, MIC 271, we will refer to the lecturer to discuss about our rough idea. We will ask about this article, is that suitable to be presented, or maybe the lecturer has any suggestion and any idea that need to be added. So it's very essential to always to refer to the lecturers to ensure that we are on the right path and not of those who are go astray. So the next one is, how did I manage my group assignments? So Alhamdulillah, one of the many factors that contribute to my learning throughout the ODL session was due to the effort of my group assignments. There are two things that we emphasize in our group assignments, which are responsibilities of the leader and always keep updating our tasks. In each assignment, we will appoint a leader who will be responsible for dividing and collecting work, as well as determine the content in each assignment. For instance, if we have a group presentation, one of us will be appointed as a leader and will be responsible for determine who will be responsible for present introductory section, who will speak on important content, and who will be responsible to design our slide presentation. Because the leader plays a very important role in determining the preparation of your assignment. If you not have leader, most students will expect their own friends to help complete the assignment, right? So because no one has responsibility to guide the work, then in the end, the work cannot be managed well because there is no good planning with each other. That's the first one. Always have the leader of people that can guide of your group assignments. The next one, almost every day we will have online discussion via WhatsApp to keep update our tasks and discuss about our group assignment, especially regarding about the lab assignment. I cannot deny, agree with Atika, it's quite difficult to study and manage my lab subjects through online learning. At first, I was a little hesitant because I was worried about not being able to score any subject. However, after the lecturer share their advice and suggestion, I feel able to grow to this subject well. Other than watching a tutorial given by the lecturer and from the internet, I will also make a brief note after watching the video to memorize steps while understanding the reason behind the procedure. And after that, I will try to enliven and see for myself the implementation of experiments, even though I do not do it on my own. One of the methods that I think is very helpful for me as the science student to deal with lab class is to have online discussion with my group mates. My lecturer will share video tutorial from internet that can help students understand within a week. So within a week, we will conduct group discussions and exchange our view. Because by doing discussion, we can share our perspective and help to increase our understanding. For me, I will try to find other sources regarding the experiment, especially from other journal and online article, and do discussion with my group mates before the class start. So that during the class, I'll already prepare about the experiment. If there are any question, I will ask the lecturer to explain in detail during the class discussion. Because it's very important to always keep in touch with your group members in order to make sure all the members understand and know every part of the task that needs to be completed. All the updates indicate there is progress in each task performed. Means everyone has cleared their role in completing their respective part. Um, it's true that sometimes there will be a time when we'll disagree with each other. So it's very important to do a slot talk and discuss with everyone. Different people come up with different emotion and attitude. and attitude. So this discussion also to help solve problem instead of adding more, as well as the task can be performed well with your group assignment. So that's how I manage my group assignments.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Rushdie. So, as what Beckmister once said, if you want to teach people a new way of thinking, don't bother trying to teach them. Instead, give them a tool, the use of which will lead to new ways of thinking. Okay, thank you very much. Now, Ikmal, yes, Ikmal, being an independent learner, how were you able to prepare yourself for the final exam?
Thank you, Doctor. So before that, all watchers and participants who witness, okay, right? You can follow us. Okay. So regarding to the questions, when it comes to preparing for final examination, all the preparation are likely what like Rushdie said just now during discussion, watch movie and so on. But I'm sure that most of the students will study until the late night because that's what we do usually. Am I right? So a word from me, just don't. Just don't rely on all night study before task because they will affect you, yourself, your body, and also your grades. All night cramming, way too much caffeine, and blurry, tired eyes are not the best option for students who want to do well and excel for on a final exam. And you should to avoid last minute study strategies if you can. Too often procrastination or putting off your study until final week can lead to poor grades. On my own experience, there's is a killer subject which is Islamic consumer behavior because during the ODL, my lecturer not even provide pre-recording lectures videos, just just provide us a slide and some sort of exercises and video to watch on YouTube. So how do we as Hala management student want to excel and get A's for this killer subject? Because there is no guidance except if you contact the lecturer itself. That is the only way that you need to do if you want more information and want confirmation from your lecturer. So that if you want to prepare well in your examination, time management in the last few days before final weeks will be essential to your success by planning out study session, eliminating distraction, and gathering all your study guides, tips, and tricks. And you will put yourself in the best position on your exam day. Because a part of when we say about of examination, a part of that, being honest when you attend and sit on the final exam is also essential and important because before this we will have the invigilators with us to keep watch students during examination. But now the only invigilator you have during the examination is yourself and Allah SWT. Am I right? So being responsible, just like Alia said just now, to yourself will determine how and what result and grades that you will gain for your final examination. If you fail, don't worry because everyone failed. Everybody had been through the failure because it's maybe not your time yet because and even the moon and the sun has their own time to shine and I'm really sure that your time will be shine also sooner or later. Just believe in yourself and make sure you be responsible and honest with yourself. It's not in examination itself but on your daily basis every day, to your mother, to your family, to your friends, being honest is one of the good virtue for human being and for yourself actually. So that will be for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ikmal. Very inspiring indeed. Okay, so the next question we would like to ask Atika. I know that basically you have gone through almost the same experiences as your friends. So the question is, what advice can you give your fellow students on how to become an independent learner? Okay, Atika?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Amalia, for the question. So, what advice can I give my fellow friends be an independent learner? The first thing is we as students have to plan and strategize what we want to do for ourselves, because right now it is up to us to excel in our own studies. We don't have our friends, just like Ma said, to push us, to wake us up in the morning and remind us of what duties we have today and so on. We have to plan our time accordingly, since we are at home and there are many other distractions or maybe other chores we have to do. But planning, it must be according to you, because like Alia said just now, every person has their own way of doing things. So plan with your heart, plan with your uh, with with your ability to do what you can. Do not burden yourself, and always remember to have a flexible schedule for you. Next, being an independent learner doesn't mean you have to be alone. Do not be afraid to ask your friends and lecturers for help when you are stuck or crammed with too many works and don't know the answers, or you don't know how to finish your assignments, or you're starting to get clueless in anything. Do not be afraid to ask your friends for help, your lecturers for help, because independent learners, we move, um, we don't have to move alone. We move together with our friends. We have them to back us up. We have them for moral support and a good supporting system. We can also ask our families for help if they have the ability to. And then always be determined and responsible to yourself. Like Ma said, be honest in your tests, in your quizzes, so that you know you have the blessings rightfully. And then always, as students, as independent learners, with this technology, with many screen times, remember to rest. Find your rest time. Set your time for you to take a walk outside your house, around your house, or inside of your house, to talk with your family, to interact, or just to sleep for a while, take a nap, because your body and mind needs it. You cannot push yourself and force yourself to do everything and neglect rest. It is very important for you to have it, because resting will help you refresh and regain your energy again to go through better movement, better study skills, and better thinking. Just, I think that will be all from me.
Okay, thank you very much, Atika. So thank you so much for the motivational sharing from our four panelists. Now we are opening the floor for Q&A, and we have quite some questions here for our panelists. Okay, to start off with, I would like to ask Ikmal. So Ikmal, there's a question from Muhammad Shauki. Okay, his question is, um, he wrote it in Malay. So the question is, bercakap mengenai test atau final test. Talking about final test. Bagaimana pula dengan setengah pelajar yang berbincang ataupun bertanya jawapan pada kawan lain? So this has to do with students sharing answers and questions online. So bagaimana kita nak cegah perkara sebegini? So because Iqmal, you talked about the final test a while ago, so this question is for you. So you have 2 minutes to answer that, Iqmal.
Thank you, Muhammad Shauki, for the question. So, first of all, if the test is open book test, so it will be okay. It will be fine for you to discuss and um ask your friend, first of all. But then if the examination is the test, the quiz um I need you to be your own yourself, no discussion, no open book test. It will be good for you if you prepare, because like Rusdi said just now, preparation is the gist for you to you gain and excel for your examinations. So for my example and myself, I will do the something like this one, like calendar, chart calendar, the due date, the examination day, when the exam will be held and where the exam will be done. So you will keep on track and you will know when you need to be ready. And about the discussion with your friend, as I said just now, it depends on you and on yourself. Because just like Atika said, that it comes blessing with the honesty. Because what is the point and what is the purpose? You gain a lot of A's, you gain 4 flat, but with cheating on examination. So that will be not really good for you actually. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ikmal. I hope that Muhammad Shauki is satisfied with your answer. Now we have another question from Umat Hussaini. Okay, we have a question from Umat Hussaini, and the question is for Alia. Okay, so the question is, ODL lack of social cues like body language and facial expressions, which is important when communicating. This made learning quite mentally challenging, especially during ODL, when classes only conduct via WhatsApp and many students who close their webcam. So a lot of students don't want to show their face. So how do you respond to this? So without facial expression and all this body language, so how can you communicate well? Okay, Alia, 2 minutes for you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Thank you to the one who asked. So how we want to manage, because most of the students turn off the camera, is actually it's up to you if you want to develop your soft skill, you want to develop yourself more. So open your camera and challenge yourself. Like I said, step out from your comfort zone. And like I said in my preparation is I treat, even though I didn't turn on my camera during my online classes, but I treat online classes like my face-to-face class. So it will works on you too. And if you want to treat online classes like face-to-face classes, then open your camera and interact with your lecturers and interact with your friends like what you did in the previous class, and the outcome will be the same. So that's how you tackle the problem, and that's how you develop yourself to become a better person, because it won't hurt you if you treat online classes as face-to-face classes like what I did for my preparation for my ODL class. So I hope my answer satisfy you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alia. There's a lot of questions coming in, so we're trying to see, and there are specific questions. So one is from PM Zainon, and the question is, this is for Rushdi. Yes, Rusdi. The question is, how many hours do you study on your own to make sure that you have understood the lecture done online? So how many hours do you study on your own? Okay, 2 minutes, Rusdi.
Thank you, PM Zaino, for that question. So for me to answer this question, it depends on people. Because some people has a different timetable study. For me, I prefer to study on the late night between 11 p.m. until 4 a.m. But before that, I will sleep for a while, about 2 hours to gain my energy. And for me, I will try to fill up my study about 5 hours per day. 5 hours per day is not including your assignment or your work to do, but the 5 hours is all about your study. Maybe you do a lot of exercise, reading your lecture note, and find another sources. Because different people have different ability. Some people cannot go to the 5 hours per day, maybe just 3 hours per day. So it depends to the content of the subject. Maybe the subject that are quite heavy, and for me, the subject that are quite heavy for me is mycology. So mycology, I will try to focus on instead of the other subject. So I will try to focus on maybe like 3 hours per day, and the other subject just 2 hours per day. So that's how I manage my study. Depends on the content of the subject. So that's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Rushdie. Now we have one more question, and this is, well, we have a lot of questions, but this is from Nur Maisara. Okay, Nur Maisara, and she wants to ask this question to Atika. So, how do you manage between your responsibility as a daughter at home and your studies? Okay, so that is the question for you, Atika, from Nur Maisara.
Okay, thank you, Normai Sarah, for the question. So, how do I manage my time as a daughter and as a student? Like I said in my advice just now, we have to plan and strategize our daily duties, our daily lives. So, as a daughter, I am considering myself a quite privileged daughter because I have families that understand me actually. But being the eldest daughter, the eldest child in this family, I can't just turn my back to them when they are doing chores. So ODL technology is very flexible actually. So you can bring your phones when you have classes or anything. You can bring them to the kitchen. Switch off your mic. You won't be bothering the lecturer and listen to the lecturer giving you the lecture while you do the chores. Don't do hardcore chores, of course. You will have help from your mother as well. So do something that will help you to focus on the lecture, and at the same time you can do the chores. And when you have free time, restudy again. Check your notes, check your online given articles or anything, and then after that you just manage it well. You want to excel in your studies, so you have to sacrifice something. So I think that's my answer.
Thank you very much, Atika. So, first of all, I would like to apologize. We really have a lot of questions here, but because of time constraint, we could only entertain one more question. And I'm going to read this question from Dr. Sheha. This question is actually anyone among the four of you could answer it. So the question is, some students have problems to discipline themselves in waking up in the morning on time for the 8 a.m. class. So what advice do you have to overcome this problem, waking up early? So any one of you who could answer this? Maybe Alia, you could answer this for us? Do you wake up early?
Sometimes I wake up late, but I'll try to answer.
Okay.
The advice to overcome this problem is, okay, sometimes I wake up late, but most of the time I wake up on time for my class. So what I'm doing is I don't usually sleep early, I sleep late. but keep in your mind that you have class tomorrow, because our body is quite special. If you think that if you say that you want to wake up at 8, then you're gonna wake up at 8. Trust me, it works. It works on everyone because you have a biological clock in your body, in your mind. So try to practice that, and that's one of the way to overcome. But at first it might not working, but the other way is for you to set the alarm, like multiple alarms, because we might not hearing the alarm. So and other thing is ask for help from your friends to wake you up tomorrow morning, or the time before the class. So so that's a few tips to overcome the problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, please, I'm really sorry that we could not entertain all the questions being sent to us. Inshallah, maybe you can send it personally to your classmate, to our panelists, with all those questions. So we are now at the end of the forum. And thank you very, very much to all our panelists and for those who spared their time attending our webinar. So I would leave you with this thought. Open distance learning is a great equalizer and educational tool. Maybe someday it will even move us towards world peace, environmental balance, and personal fulfillment. Okay, so with that, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much. Back to our MC.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Amelia. It's a very interesting session. All right, now we are at the end of the session. I would like to remind all the participants again to fill in the click the link prepared in the chat box for your jam latihan and insert. With that, I would like to thank you all the panelists for today's session, as well as Dr. Amelia. We appreciate your being here. Thank you again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.